Slide presentation. Text. SnapEd data collection templates. Demonstration video. Agency contact. January 2023. USDA is an equal opportunity provider, employer, and lender. USDA and Westat Insight logos.
This demonstration video is for agencies that will be using the SnapEd data collection templates to collect and summarize program and outcome data in a format aligned with N-PEARS. In this video, I will highlight sections of the data collection template user guide, how to prepare data for input into N-PEARS, and how to input data into N-PEARS.
User guide overview. Introduction. Distribute materials to data entry staff, conduct regular check-ins, prepare the data, input data into N-PEARS.
In this demonstration video, I will discuss the following sections from the user guide. A brief introduction of the templates, which materials should be distributed to data entry staff, the benefits of conducting regular check-ins with data entry staff, how to prepare the data from educator workbooks for input into N-PEARS, and how to input data into N-PEARS.
Introduction.
The SnapEd data collection template is an optional resource agencies can use to collect and summarize program and outcome data in a format aligned with N-PEARS. Developed in Microsoft Excel, the template provides agencies a place to collect and summarize project information about program sites, direct education or DE, series and participant level data, policies, systems, and environmental or PSE change efforts, program partners, and social marketing campaigns.
Distribute materials to data entry staff.
When distributing materials to data entry staff, be sure to include the following: the data entry workbook with updated file naming convention. On the screen is a suggested file naming convention.
Suggested. Data entry _project name _staff last name _YYYYMMDD.XLS.
A complete data entry decision point table for data entry staff to refer to when completing data entry in each tab of the workbook. Examples of possible decision points include identifying a cutoff point for participants who meet the guidelines, or determining how to estimate reach when actual reach is unavailable. You can find the decision point table in Appendix A of the user guide. The data entry instructions, which provides data entry staff with information on what data to enter and how to enter data in each tab of the workbook. You can find the data entry instructions in Appendix B of the user guide. The PSE change description table, which lists the 103 PSE change options. This table can be found in Appendix C of the user guide. Finally, the data entry demonstration video for data entry staff, which walks through each tab of the workbook within the context of the data entry instructions. You might also consider hosting data entry training for staff.
Conduct regular check-ins.
Regular check-ins with data entry staff can provide an opportunity to identify and resolve new decision points, ensure data entry staff know and follow the data entry schedule, and review data entry workbook data to identify missing or inaccurate data. Be sure to collect data entry workbooks from departing staff and distribute materials to new staff during onboarding. When job responsibilities align between departing and new staff, the new staff can use the same data entry workbook to ensure data isn't missing or duplicated.
An Excel workbook opens to a sheet titled Summary. Text. N-PEARS Annual Report section. Direct Education, Reach, Mode of Delivery, Individual Behavior Change MT1. Healthy Eating, Individual Behavior Change MT2. Food Resource Management, Individual Behavior Change MT3. Physical Activity and Reduced Sedentary Behavior. N-PEARS Annual Report section, PSE Change Initiatives, PSE Changes Maintained and PSE Changes Adopted. See PSE tab, Active Partners. N-PEARS Annual Report section, Social Marketing, Impressions, Reach, and Engagement.
This is the agency workbook. Because N-PEARS requires data to be entered for one project at a time, you will want one agency workbook per project. The agency workbook is used to combine data from all data entry workbooks for a project to summarize data for entry into N-PEARS. The difference between the agency workbook and the data entry workbook is the Summary tab, which you can see on the screen here. The Summary tab is unique to the agency workbook and aggregates data entered in the DE series, DE participants, partners, and social marketing tabs for input into N-PEARS. The site and PSE tabs are not reflected in the Summary tab. When inputting data into N-PEARS, you must take information directly from the site and PSE tab.
She clicks on the Sites tab to open an empty spreadsheet with many column headings.
This is the Site tab.
She clicks on the PSE tab to open another empty spreadsheet with different column headings.
And this is the PSE tab. You will need to take information directly from these tabs. They will not be reflected in the Summary tab.
She goes back to the Summary tab.
Please refer to the Prepare the Data section of the user guide for guidance on how to clean data in the Site and PSE tabs for input into N-PEARS. The agency workbook is merely a snapshot of the data expected for input into N-PEARS. The agency workbook only captures data that needed to be stored throughout the year or summarized before entry. There will be items, like languages offered for an intervention, that are not reflected in the agency workbook.
New slide, text, prepare the data.
Next, I will demonstrate how to copy and paste data from the data entry workbooks into the agency workbook. Please be sure to copy and paste data from all data entry workbooks for a project into your agency workbook. Otherwise, the Summary tab will not reflect all work performed on a project.
We go back to Excel to the DE Participants tab. It shows data for 2 surveys under Health Eating, MT1.
This is an example data entry workbook containing sample data. I will copy and paste data from 2 example data entry workbooks into the agency workbook. There are many ways to copy and paste data. I will demonstrate one way to copy and paste. Starting with the DE Participants tab in the first example data entry workbook, which is what you see on your screen, highlight the row numbers at the far left of the tab you want to copy.
She highlights the 2 rows with the survey information.
Next, right-click your mouse and select Copy.
She selects Copy from the right-click menu that appears. She goes to a new empty DE Participants sheet with the same column headings and title.
Then, in the DE Participants tab of the agency workbook, which is what you see on your screen now, select the row you want to paste the data.
She highlights the first 2 empty rows.
Right-click your mouse and select Paste. You may be prompted to keep source formatting or match destination formatting. The formatting will not matter because the tabs in data entry and agency workbooks are the same. Now I will repeat the same process for the DE Participants tab in the second example data entry workbook. Select the rows, right-click, copy.
She selects the agency workbook from the pop-up along the bottom of the screen.
Navigate to the agency workbook, as you see on the screen. Select the rows, right-click, and paste.
She pastes the copied information under the 2 rows of information already on the sheet.
I will also demonstrate copying and pasting data from the Partners tab in the first example data entry workbook.
She highlights the 2 rows of data from the Partners tab.
Again, highlight the row numbers at the far left of the tab that you would like to copy. In this case, we are copying from the Partners tab. Right-click your mouse and select Copy.
The screen switches to an empty Partners spreadsheet.
Then, in the Partners tab of the agency workbook, select the row you want to paste the data. Right-click your mouse and select Paste.
She highlights the first 2 rows, then chooses Paste from the right-click menu that appears.
Now I will repeat the same process for the Partners tab in the second example data entry workbook, which is on your screen now.
She selects the 2 rows of data and proceeds as before.
Select the row, right-click, copy, navigate to the agency workbook, select the row, right-click, and paste.
We go back to the Summary tab.
As I mentioned earlier in this demonstration, this is the Summary tab. Use the plus sign on the far left to expand each section of the Summary tab.
She clicks the plus sign to the right of the row that reads, Mode of Delivery. It expands to show many rows of information under it.
Use the minus sign to collapse each section of the Summary tab.
She clicks the minus sign to the right and at the bottom of the new rows. The expanded information disappears and returns to the original summary list. She clicks the plus sign next to the row reads Individual Behavior Change MT1, Healthy Eating. Many rows open below it, showing information such as, eat more than one kind of fruit throughout the day, Montana 1C, with pre-test and post-test information for each age group.
As you can see, data copied into the agency workbook from the DE Participants tab in the Data Entry workbook is reflected in the Summary tab here.
She highlights the post-test column under age group 18 to 59. She clicks the plus sign next to the Active Partners row to expand it.
You can also see data copied into the Agency workbook from the Partners tab in the Data Entry workbook, reflected in the Summary tab.
She highlights the row titled Food Banks, Food Pantries, Food Recovery Organizations with the cells filled out in each of the 3 columns.
The Summary tab is formatted to print in landscape view, 1 page wide, with column and row identifiers showing.
The expanded information is shown under the Reach tab, including total number of SNAP-Ed direct education participants, ethnicity, estimated count of SNAP-Ed participants, race, actual count and estimated count, including totals for each row. She clicks on the File tab above the sheet, then clicks on Print from the left menu to go to the print screen, which shows the spreadsheet and printer information.
To print, navigate to the File tab in the upper left-hand corner, scroll to Print, and check that the document is in landscape orientation and that it is fit all columns on 1 page so that it is 1 page wide.
The sheet shows the lettered columns across the top and the numbered rows along the left.
The column and row identifiers will be showing.
She scrolls through the pages of the sheet in the print menu using the scroll bar along the right.
You may find it helpful to print the Summary tab and have it in front of you as you input data into N-PEARS. This is an example of what each page will look like.
She returns to the Summary tab sheet in Excel.
Finally, I also suggest referring to the user guide as it describes which rows of the Summary tab correspond with each section of N-PEARS. Thank you for watching this demonstration. Please reach out to your state agency with any questions.